Part 16. The Wood-type superpower who is reborn in the apocalypse. Author, Kiji Now. Chapter 152. I never thought about letting my son become Len Ning's partner. My son is too young. If he goes on a mission with his lady, he may not be able to hide from danger. Besides, the lady just said that her son's power is a healing power, which is an auxiliary power. On the battlefield, if there is no one to protect him and he is attacked, he will have no choice but to sit back and wait for death. Seeing Yang Meijun's reaction, Len Ning realized that something was wrong. What? Aunt Yang, don't you want Xiaobao to join the Manman team? Len Ning raised a smile and asked Yang Meijun. A flash of struggle flashed across Yang Meijun's face. Miss, she called Len Ning, and then looked at her son. The young lady had a life-saving benevolence for him and his son, and even took in their mother and son. How could she say this if she refused? But her son's safety was equally important, and she couldn't bear to put her son in danger in order to repay her kindness. Len Ning was a little confused. It's a good thing to join the Manman team. Why is Aunt Yang looking like this? Etc. Aunt Yang, have you misunderstood? Len Ning said quickly. Yang Meijun looked at Len Ning. When I asked Xiaobao to join the Manman team, I didn't ask him to go to dangerous battlefields with us. Well, I just asked him to help everyone heal their injuries, Len Ning explained. People with healing powers can not only heal external injuries, but most importantly, they can also heal some injuries caused by being bitten or scratched by zombies. Zombies will advance to the same level as superpowers. The virus of high-level zombies can induce the transformation of low-level superpowers into zombies, and the probability is very high. In the absence of a healing system, the probability of becoming a zombie is almost 100%. A healing power user with a higher level than an injured power user has a high chance of saving a power user infected by the zombie virus. At this time, the value of high-level healing power users is revealed. Many times their presence can save the life of a person with supernatural powers. At the same time, zombie viruses of the same class may also induce the zombies of people with superpowers. At this time, as long as a healing power user of the same level or above takes action, the chance of the power user being cured is close to 100%. Therefore, healing power users are really valuable. Yang Meijun was stunned. Then the nervous look on his face immediately dissipated. Okay, Xiaobao is lucky that the young lady can like him, he said immediately. Len Ning raised a smile. It is rare to find someone with healing powers. Xiaobao has awakened his healing powers at such a young age. His future is limitless. We are lucky to meet him, he then said. It was hard for her to say this sincerely. There is a healing power user in the team, who can save lives at critical moments. After all, there are too many zombies in the outside world, and there are also many powerful zombies. It is inevitable that you will encounter someone with a higher power level than yourself at some point. If the zombies are stronger than the superpowers will be easily injured. At this time, high-level healing power users are the last hope for the injured. In the previous life, whether it was the Thunder Base or the Southern Army Base, those with healing powers were very respected in the base. Even if he is a low-level healing power user, countless people come to him for treatment. Even though it is for minor illnesses and injuries, the fees charged by those with special powers are not low. Just because there are really too few people with healing abilities. It can be said that even if Xiaobao does not join the Manman team, with his healing ability, his future in the Thunder Base will be unlimited. I'll join. Seeing that his mother agreed, Xiaobao immediately shouted to Len Ning. The Wood-type superpower who is reborn in the apocalypse. Author, Kiji Now. Chapter 153. Len Ning nodded with satisfaction. Hum with me, you won't go wrong. Then he touched Xiaobao's head. Then, something seemed to come to mind. Len Ning immediately took out a bag of transparent crystal cores from his space ring and handed it to Xiaobao. Consider this a greeting gift. Your boss, I will teach you to absorb the crystal core now, Len Ning said excitedly. Xiaobao took it blankly, not knowing the value of the crystal core. Let's go to my room. The boss will give you extra lessons. Len Ning simply picked up Xiaobao. Then, under the gaze of everyone, he walked towards his room. After entering the room, Xiaobao saw the warm decoration in Len Ning's room and felt a little envious, but also a little ashamed of himself. The lady's room was so clean, but he was very dirty. Even though mom had already washed him before the meal. But they had lived in the cellar for so long that it felt like the dirt had seeped into their bodies. When my mother gave him a bath, she had to wash him twice because there was not enough water. He always felt like his body had not been cleaned. Seeing Len Ning trying to put him on the bed, Xiaobao quickly stopped him. I won't sit on the bed, the voice was quite loud. Len Ning was stunned. What's wrong? He asked with a frown. Why did this little guy react so loudly? I'm dirty. Xiaobao lowered his head and said, not wanting Len Ning to misunderstand. Len Ning was stunned again. Then he got close to Xiaobao's neck and sniffed several times. It smells great, where is it dirty? Then he asked with a smile. He also looked extremely serious. Xiaobao's heart felt warm, and he actually felt that his body seemed much cleaner. I haven't taken a shower for a long time. That cellar smells. Xiaobao said with a red face. Oh. But didn't your mother wash you just now? Len Ning said. You are overthinking it. This little guy, I really didn't realize it, is still a misophobia. No, not washed. Xiaobao continued. Len Ning looked up and looked at his bathroom. How about I go get you some water and you wash it again? This little guy, forget it, for the sake of him being the youngest member of the Manman team. Xiaobao immediately looked at Len Ning, his eyes shining with desire. Is it okay? I was embarrassed to ask, but I couldn't help but ask. Of course, Len Ning said with a smile. Uncle Liang's water power has reached the second level peak, and he can release a lot of water every day. Using more bath water is not a big deal. Just wait, I'll be back in a moment. Then, Len Ning put Xiaobao on the ground. Then he scratched Xiaobao's nose before walking towards the door. Len Ning left. Xiaobao was bored and began to look at the furnishings in Len Ning's room. He found that he really liked Miss and Mrs. room. But he also knew that he was far away from the lady. He immediately made up his mind that after joining the barbarian team, he would work hard to become the lady's partner and someone worthy of her trust. Not long after, Len Ning came back with a bucket of hot water. Len Ning smiled at Xiaobao, and then carried the hot water to the bathroom. Come on, little one. Len Ning put down the hot water, rolled up his sleeves and said to Xiaobao. Speaking of it, this was her first time bathing a child. I don't know if it's fun or not. Xiaobao's face turned red. I wash it myself. Then he stammered. He is 7 years old and can already bathe himself. I asked my mother to wash him before because he was really dirty this time. But now, he can do it by himself. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The wood-type superpower who is reborn in the apocalypse. Author, Kiji Now. Chapter 154. Oh, you're still shy, Len Ning laughed. As for your little arms and legs, let me wash them for you so that you don't have to worry about falling down later. I wash it myself. Xiaobao insisted. Len Ning was stunned. Okay then he replied awkwardly. This little guy is really stubborn. I'll go find you a set of pajamas, Len Ning continued. This little guy was lucky. When they went to H-Town for a mission, they passed by a store selling clothes. At that time, They took off some of the clothes of adults and children. There happened to be 2 sets of clothes for Xiaobao to wear. By the way, they might as well go on another mission tomorrow to get Xiaobao some sets of clothes. His original clothes had been thrown away because they were too dirty, and it was difficult to change even 2 sets of clothes. "Where is the bath towel?" Xiaobao asked. "We'll bring it to you later. Go and wash it quickly," Len Ning urged. Xiaobao still didn't move. "Then you can hand it to me from outside the door later," then he said. Len Ning was stunned. "What? Are you afraid that I will peek at you?" Then he glanced at Xiaobao up and down. Xiaobao's face turned redder. "Oops, is it really true? You are only 7 years old." "Sister, I am already 17 years old. I am 10 years older than you. You don't even have the eye of a needle," Len Ning said with a smile. If the years she lived in her previous life were included, she would have been 23 years old and would have been a mature woman long ago. "Only 10 years older," Xiaobao muttered. "What?" Len Ning didn't hear clearly. "Pass it to me from outside." Xiaobao pretended not to hear Len Ning's inquiry and said. Len Ning rolled his eyes helplessly. "Chin chin chinch. Go take a bath quickly. If you don't go, the water will get cold." Then he reached out and pushed Xiaobao gently. He saw Xiaobao still looking at him and not moving. Len Ning glanced at Xiaobao helplessly and finally walked towards the door of the room. The supplies they picked up from H-Town last time were also placed in the conference room, so they had to go there to pick them up. Seeing Len Ning leave, Xiaobao walked towards the bathroom. "I closed the bathroom door, took off my clothes, and took a shower." Xiaobao washes very seriously, hoping to wash himself thoroughly. Len Ning went to the conference room and after some effort, finally found clothes suitable for Xiaobao. He took another clean bath towel and then went back. Just after returning to the room, Xiaobao's voice came from the bathroom. "Miss, are you back?" "Ahem, isn't it me?" Len Ning said in a loud voice. "Okay," she admitted that she deliberately walked slowly just now, not wanting the little guy to find her. "Have you got your clothes and bath towel?" Xiaobao asked next. "Take it," Len Ning replied unhappily. For a moment, I had the illusion that he was the boss, or was he the boss? Walking to the bathroom, Len Ning knocked on the bathroom door. The door opened from the inside, but only a crack was left. Xiaobao poked out a wet head. Then he glanced at the bag containing clothes and bath towels that Len Ning was carrying, and stretched out his hand towards Len Ning. Len Ning had no choice but to hand the bag to Xiaobao. Xiaobao took it in and immediately closed the bathroom door. Looking at the closed bathroom door, Len Ning suddenly felt depressed. She seemed to have been bullied by a child. But when I thought about it, I felt something was wrong. Xiaobao is just shy, why is he bullying her? Thinking of this, Len Ning stopped paying attention to these emotions. He walked to the bed and sat down. Then I was bored, so I just picked up the book on the bedside and started reading. After a while, the bathroom door opened. Babies, there are foreshadowings about Xiaobao. It's not an exaggeration that children like adults. The wood-type superpower who is reborn in the apocalypse. Author, Kiji Now. Chapter 155. Xiaobao walked out of the bathroom wearing white pajamas. The fair skin has been steamed by the steam, making it look white and rosy, making the already delicate facial features look even better. "Yes, these clothes look even better on Xiaobao," Len Ning praised with a smile. Xiaobao was stunned and his face turned red again. Len Ning got up from the bed and walked towards Xiaobao. Xiaobao was at a loss when he saw Len Ning bypassing him and going to the side to get a towel. Then, the towel was covered on his head. What followed was a ravage. "You still need an adult to clean it up for you. Look at how wet you are." Xiaobao said "oh" twice and unexpectedly cooperated. "It's a pity that the hairdryer can't be used. Otherwise, it would have to be dried." After wiping Xiaobeo's hair, Len Ning put the towel back in place. After finishing the chores, he came back to hug Xiaobeo and put him on the bed. This time Xiaobeo did not refuse. Thinking that he was sitting on the bed where the young lady slept, Xiaobeo felt that the bed seemed softer for some reason, and his little face turned a little red. "Come on, let the boss tell you about the power of your power." Len Ning also sat down. After a while, I felt that sitting was not comfortable enough, so I got on the bed and got into bed. Of course, when she went in, she didn't forget to pick up Xiaobeo. Xiaobeo's face turned red now, but he didn't refuse anymore. It's so comfortable lying in the lady's arms. The lady's bed is so comfortable, more comfortable than what he dreamed about when he was in the cellar. Then, Len Ning continued to talk to Xiaobeo about the characteristics of healing powers and some other knowledge about powers. After the explanation was finished, he immediately taught Xiaobeo how to absorb crystal nuclei. Xiaobeo also learns quickly, and his understanding ability is far beyond that of children of the same age. The talent of a top student is comparable to what Len Ning had when he was a child. After a few operations, the healing ability was directly rushed to the second level, intermediate level. Len Ning was really pleasantly surprised when he saw this result. Call Xiaobeo her baby. Later, not long after, both of them were sleepy. As we chatted, my eyelids became heavier and heavier, and I fell asleep directly. I don't know how long it took. When Len Ning woke up, Xiaobeo was still sleeping soundly. Looking at the cute little guy sleeping soundly, Len Ning resisted the urge to squeeze it and carefully got out of bed. I was a little hungry, so I was going to go outside to find something to eat. As soon as I walked to the living room, I saw Yang Meijun sitting on the sofa in a daze. Seeing Len Ning appear, Yang Meijun was shocked and became cautious. Then he quickly got up and bowed to Len Ning. "Hello, miss." "Yeah." Len Ning nodded. "The suite next door is empty. Didn't they arrange a room for you?" Len Ning asked doubtfully. "Yes. But Brother Kong said that he would live next door and let Xiaobeo and I move in to take care of the young lady and his wife," Yang Meijun said quickly. "Although Brother Kong is a servant of the Lei family, he is a man after all, so it is not inconvenient to live here. Now that she is here," he mentioned it to Madam like this. But the lady did not agree, but asked them to ask the lady's opinion. Madam said, "This matter depends on your opinion." Yang Meijun looked at Len Ning nervously. The lady had been speaking for a while, and the lady returned to the room with Xiaobeo in her arms. She didn't dare to disturb the young lady, so she waited in the living room. She had been suffering from waiting for the past few hours. If the lady is unwilling to take her in, how will she live with Xiaobeo? "Oh, then you can move in." Len Ning stepped forward and took an apple from the coffee table. The Wood-type superpower who is reborn in the apocalypse. Author, Kiji Now. Chapter 156. No need to wash it, just put it on your mouth. "Don't worry, miss, I'll cut some fruit for you," Yang Meijun said quickly upon seeing this. Oh, seeing Yang Meijun reach out, Len Ning gave up and nibbled directly, and put the apple into Yang Meijun's hand. The mother and son are really equally particular. Yang Meijun took some more fruits from the coffee table and hurried to the kitchen. Len Ning was bored and sat down on the sofa. After a while, Yang Meijun came out with cut fruits. "Miss, please use it." Then he respectfully placed the fruit plate on the coffee table. Len Ning glanced awkwardly at Yang Meijun, who was standing straight at the side, and then looked at the position next to him. "Sit down and talk," then he said. Yang Meijun glanced at Len Ning. "Yes." Then he sat down on the sofa not far from Len Ning. "Well, what are your plans next?" Len Ning felt that the atmosphere was a bit awkward and asked Yang Meijun. Yang Meijun was stunned. "I want to take Xiaobeo to take care of the lady and my wife. I hope the lady can take us in," Yang Meijun replied. Len Ning was stunned. "Do you want to be a servant of the Lei family?" then he asked. Yang Meijun nodded quickly, I hope it will come true, miss. Actually you don't have to do this. Xiaobao is already a member of the Manman team and is my partner. He has a very high talent for healing abilities and will achieve great results in the future. Well, maybe you don't know the situation yet. Let's put it this way, there will be no doctors in the survivor base in the future, and those who will replace their roles will be healing power users. A high-level healing power user will never be short of money, Len Ning said. If the son can make money, the mother can live a good life. So there is absolutely no need for her to be a servant in the Lei family. Yang Meijun was stunned. Xiaobao and I will never be able to repay Mrs. life-saving kindness in this life. No matter what Xiaobao's future is, I just want to stay by Miss and Madam's side and serve, he then said. As for Xiaobao, his life was saved by Miss, his talent was also discovered by Miss, it is natural for him to serve you, Yang Meijun continued. They haven't arrived at the Thunder base yet, let alone settled down there. Without the young lady, they don't know how long they can live. No matter what Xiaobao's future is, as long as she works in the Lei family, her son's future will only be bright. Len Ning looked at Yang Meijun. Once again, I felt that she was extraordinary. You don't look like you're from the country, Len Ning said. Yang Meijun was stunned again. Yes. My mother's family is in D City, and they are considered a scholarly family, then she said with a somewhat bitter expression. Len Ning looked confused. I was young and ignorant at the time, and was coaxed into Sidia by Liang Huai. My family has severed ties with me long ago, and now I only have Xiaobao as my only relative, Yang Meijun sighed with a deep look in her eyes. When she was young, she believed that love was the most precious, and she abandoned family ties and sacrificed everything for love. But she didn't expect that the man she wanted to follow at all costs was a liar. His background is fictional, his experiences are fictional, and his love for her is fictional. After discovering the truth, she originally thought about returning to D City, but Liang Huai got her pregnant at that time. For the sake of her children, she chose to compromise. Unfortunately, the child was not saved in the end. Later, Liang Huai knelt in front of her and said that he was willing to change and work hard to make money so that she could return to her parents' home in glory. She actually believed it again. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Wood-type superpower who is reborn in the apocalypse. Author, Kiji Now. Chapter 157. Maybe she didn't believe it at that time either. But her mother-in-law's family was so determined and so arrogant, how could she lower her head and go back? In this way, she convinced herself to believe Liang Huai again. People are born gamblers. The more you lose, the more reluctant you are to let go. But if you don't let go, the result will be a worse fall. After all, how could a dog change to eating shit? At the beginning, Liang Huai seemed to have really changed his mind and was willing to work hard. But this state only lasted a few months. Soon, she bumped into Liang Huai going back to his old ways to hook up with a divorced woman. It's really ridiculous. After he was found out, he didn't feel that he was wrong at all. Instead, he said that he did all this for her. He said he wasn't serious about the woman and was just doing it for her money. Earning money is too hard, this way is easy and quick. Of course she refused to accept it and once again thought of returning to D City. But this time Liang Huai actually threatened her with death. Threatening her, her family's safety, and his own life. That man really looked like a devil, pestering her and not giving her any way to survive. Later, Liang Huai arranged for her to go to the countryside, and he worked hard in the city alone. He would go back to see her after a while, so there would be less quarrels. In the past few years, the family has been poor and rich, and it was all Liang Huai's fault. She also accepted her fate and didn't want to fight anymore. Until later, she had a baby. After the pregnancy and miscarriage that year, although Liang Huai wanted her to get pregnant again, she couldn't get pregnant again for several years. It was thought that her body was damaged and she would never be able to have children again. She also accepted this reality and even thought it was good. After all, she herself was pitiful enough. If she gave birth to a child, it would be too cruel for the child to have such a father. But she still got pregnant. The moment she gave birth to Xiaobao, there seemed to be a beam of light in her dark life. She can accept her fate, but not her children. In the next 7 years, she began to plan her life with the money Liang Huai sent back. Use computers to communicate with the outside world. Although she still lives in the countryside, her thoughts are finally connected with society again. She secretly saved a sum of money, and just waiting for Xiaobao to turn 7, she was going to take him back to D City to go to school there. The departure time is set for the end of this month. Unfortunately, Liang Huai came back early. This time he also proposed to divorce her. Of course she couldn't ask for it. But Liang Huai actually wanted to snatch her little treasure. Of course she would not agree, and she immediately started a big quarrel with Liang Huai. Then zombies appeared in the village and injured people. At the critical moment, she remembered that the house next door had a cellar, so she asked Liang Huai to break down the door and take Xiaobao to hide in someone else's cellar. Fortunately, she did this, otherwise she and Xiaobao would not be able to wait for the young lady and the others to arrive. Len Ning was stunned. Unexpectedly, Yang Meijun has such a complicated past. It's strange that she didn't take Liang Huai away at that time, and she didn't plead for mercy. As for Liang Huai, please don't worry, miss, although he is Xiaobao's father, he has never fulfilled his father's responsibilities. I will educate Xiaobao well and won't let him have bad thoughts about you, Yang Meijun said. There were some things she had been reluctant to tell her son, but now she had to. This will put the lady and Madame at ease. Madame obviously liked her and Xiaobao very much, but she didn't say anything to keep her, probably because of this concern. Len Ning nodded. Okay. Then you stay. When we return to Thunder Base, I will leave the Lei family's affairs to you to arrange, Len Ning said. Thank you Vava baby for the 2 energy drinks. Haha, there are also some wealthy fans. MMM. The wood-type superpower who is reborn in the apocalypse. Author, Kiji Now. Chapter 158. Aunt Yang is educated and well educated. With her accompanying her mother, she can save a lot of worry. Thank you, miss. Yang Meijun showed a smile on her face, stood up and bowed to Len Ning to thank her. Len Ning took the fruit and started eating it. You don't have to be so reserved. When you get to the Thunder Base, you will be the housekeeper hired by our Lei family. Apart from this identity, you are Xiaobao's mother and can also be regarded as my elder. Since she let Xiaobao join the Manman team, Xiaobao is her partner and brother, so of course she can't treat Aunt Yang like an ordinary servant. Thank you, miss, Yang Meijun replied with a smile. Finally he wasn't as reserved as before. Well. It's almost time for Xiaobao to wake up. This fruit is good. I'll bring it in for him to try, Len Ning said and got up from the sofa. Then he picked up the fruit plate and left. Yang Meijun watched Len Ning leave with a smile and returned to the room. My heart felt warm. The end of the world may not be a bad thing, but a new life for her and her son. In one day, Len Ning and Xiaobao became familiar with the rest of the Manman team. Because Xiaobao is the youngest, everyone loves him very much. Soon Len Ning fell out of favor with Xiaobao and was abandoned by Xiaobao, watching him play with others. The resort is huge and there are few zombies. With a powerful person carrying it, you don't have to worry about safety issues. Xiaobao was taken by the team members and went to many places in the resort, and he soon became a happy child. Zhou Tao also took Xiaobao to kill wandering zombies, allowing Xiaobao to completely overcome the psychological barrier of fear of zombies. I have to say that the little guy's adaptability and psychological quality are really good. On this day, Len Ning decided to take the Manman team on another mission. On the one hand, I want to try my luck and see if I can get Space Jade. On the other hand, I also want to get some sets of clothes for Xiaobao. I'm so excited to finally enter the city. Zhou Tao couldn't help but howl as soon as he left the resort. Yuan Xing also had a smile on his face. I almost forgot what the city is like. Len Ning, who was sitting in the passenger seat, had a smile on his face. The two guys on the back of the pickup truck were probably going to be disappointed. The city has long since fallen. Zombies are everywhere, and there is no trace of life at all. The city lost its power and living people, leaving only cold and dilapidated buildings. Coupled with wandering zombies, it's a living hell on Earth. Boss, what do you think the Thunder Base is like? Zhang Peng drove his car and asked Len Ning with a smile. According to what the boss said, Mr. Lei will return to Sidia soon, and they will probably be able to go to the Thunder Base soon. The corners of Len Ning's mouth raised slightly. It's not much different from before the end of the world. Of course, the premise is that you have money in your pocket. Zhang Peng was stunned and a little frustrated. He is just a poor student with no money. The money I'm talking about is the crystal core. Len Ning curled his lips and said. This silly boy is a top student in University A, and he doesn't even know how to bend his mind. Zhang Peng was stunned and immediately laughed. At the same time, I began to calculate how many crystal nuclei I had saved. Len Ning glanced at Zhang Peng's money-obsessed look and couldn't help but shake his head. Such a good young man is so obsessed with money. Are you still afraid of living in poverty if you follow her? Looking at the scenery outside the window and remembering all the things he had done at the Thunder Base in his previous life, Len Ning unconsciously began to miss Thunder. It's been more than a month, brother, it's time for him to come back. The pickup truck drove along, heading into the city. The wood-type superpower who is reborn in the apocalypse. Author, Kiji Now. Chapter 159. After driving for a while, everyone slowly recovered their thoughts. Because they found that there were obviously more zombies on the road. Boss Zhang Peng suddenly shouted in a high-pitched voice. Len Ning raised his eyes and saw a large wave of zombies approaching on a branch road not far ahead. There were so many zombies in that team that you couldn't even see the end of them. It's a zombie wave. Len Ning's expression changed. Quick! Go back, he said immediately. Zhang Peng was stunned when he saw zombies chasing their pickup truck. He quickly braked and then quickly turned around. Zhou Tao and Yuan Xing in the back compartment were unprepared and were almost thrown out of the car. Just as he was about to curse, he saw a wave of zombies coming. Zhou Tao's eyes widened, and in an instant, he swallowed back all his words. Quick! Get rid of them and rush back to the resort, Len Ning said in a deep voice. Damn it, there was a zombie wave so quickly. Looking at the scale, there must be no less than 5,000 zombies no matter what. If all these zombies follow the road to the resort and they are not there, what will the people in the apartment do? Fortunately, it was discovered in time, otherwise it would be too late to regret it. Yes, the scariest thing about zombies is that they will gather to form a huge zombie wave. Thousands of zombies move together with great momentum, leaving almost no living thing behind in the place they pass by. What's even more terrifying is that some zombie waves are led by zombie kings. The zombie king is usually a high-level zombie with intelligence, which is difficult to deal with in itself, not to mention that it can also guide the zombie army. In the previous life, countless survivor bases, large and small, were swallowed up by the zombie wave. The zombie wave is simply a nightmare for all human survivor bases. Zhang Peng looked serious and stepped on the accelerator. The pickup truck accelerated, quickly leaving the zombie wave behind. Zhang Peng didn't dare to relax along the way, drove the pickup truck wildly, and finally drove everyone back to the resort. At the entrance of the resort, Len Ning asked everyone to get out of the car. Quickly, find some rocks or other obstacles to block the road, Len Ning said directly. The road in this resort is almost the same width as the main road, so there is a high probability that zombies will leave the main road and run to the resort. If roadblocks are not set up, the consequences may be disastrous. At the same time, Len Ning started to look everywhere. I saw a stone designed as a landscape symbol on the hillside not far away, and I immediately ran towards the stone. The rest of the Manman team also quickly got busy. The pickup truck was traveling very fast just now, and it only took them about 10 minutes to get back. But the zombie wave is not slow either. In less than 40 minutes, the zombie army will definitely arrive. There isn't much time left for them. 20 minutes later, the Manman team finally managed to set up a roadblock. It's not high enough, I'm afraid it won't be very effective, Len Ning frowned. We don't have enough time, so we have to do this. If we set up some more roadblocks on the road, we should be able to cope with it, Zhou Tao stepped forward and said. There aren't many usable large rocks around here, so a roadblock like this is pretty good. There is a fork in the road on the way to the resort and to the apartment. Rather than wasting time here, it would be better to go to that fork in the road and build a roadblock based on local materials. As long as the zombie wave doesn't go directly to the apartment, they can find a way to slowly eliminate the zombies that have poured into the resort again. Yes, Len Ning nodded, arranged for Zhang Peng to stay on guard, and left with Zhou Tao and Yuan Xing. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Wood-type superpower who is reborn in the apocalypse. Author, Kiji Now. Chapter 160. Arriving at the fork in the road, Len Ning immediately continued to set up roadblocks with Zhou Tao and Yuan Xing. But just after placing the 3 big stones, Zhang Peng rushed back. The zombie wave has appeared on the main highway, we have to evacuate quickly, Zhang Peng said in a panic. Zhou Tao and Yuan Xing also looked at Len Ning nervously. Withdraw, Len Ning said seriously. Then he led everyone in a hurry and ran towards the apartment. It is not yet certain whether there is a zombie king in this wave of zombies, so it is better to avoid it. If the zombie king discovers their traces, the zombie wave will definitely come towards them. At the door of the apartment, Uncle Liang was chatting with Zhang Gang while looking at the door. Seeing that Len Ning and others didn't start their car, they hurried back and immediately got up and opened the door. Len Ning led everyone through the door. Lock the door, he said to Zhang Peng, who was the last to enter. Zhang Peng hurriedly followed the instructions. Len Ning then looked at Uncle Liang. Uncle Liang, take everyone to the conference room to hide. No one can come out until I let you come out. Yes, Uncle Liang replied immediately. Looking at this situation, I'm afraid there are zombies coming, and there are quite a lot of them. Uncle Liang called Zhang Gang and left in a hurry. To prevent exposure, there is no need to guard the gate here. Len Ning then looked at the 3 members of the Manman team. Zhou Tao, Yuan Xing, you 2 guard the stairs on the 2nd floor. Zhang Peng and I will go up to the 4th floor. If the zombie wave really comes and you can't stand it, just go directly to the 4th floor to join us. Yes, Zhou Tao and Yuan Xing replied immediately. Act, Len Ning gave the order, and everyone in Manman's team also evacuated to the apartment. Len Ning and Zhang Peng rushed back to their residence and assisted Uncle Liang and Zhang Gang in bringing Lei Mu, Yang Meijun, and Xiao Baoquan to the conference room on the 6th floor. Ning Ning, what on earth is going on? Lei's mother sat down on her seat and asked Len Ning with an uneasy look on her face. The others also looked at Len Ning. Guess what happened? We encountered a wave of zombies when we were on a mission. We're not sure whether they will come to the resort. Let's take precautions first. Len Ning patted Lei Mu on the back and explained. Don't worry, we have made some arrangements. Everything will be fine then. Len Ning looked at the others. Xiaobao suddenly ran over and hugged Len Ning's thigh. Boss, I'm going to, then he said unexpectedly. He is also a part of the Manman team and wants to fight with everyone. Everyone was stunned for a moment, then laughed. Len Ning also had a smile on his face, then knelt down and picked up Xiaobao. You're too young, just stay here. You'll come in handy later. After saying that, Len Ning touched Xiaobao's head with his other hand. Oh, Xiaobao's eyes dimmed. Len Ning raised the corner of his mouth. Put Xiaobao back on the ground. Liang Xiu obeys the order, then he said in a deep voice. Xiaobao was stunned. Yes, he quickly stood up. Now I entrust all the people in this room to your care. No one is allowed to leave until I come back. Can this be done? Len Ning continued. Yes, Xiaobao quickly replied. Yeah, Len Ning nodded. He glanced at everyone again, turned around and left. Zhang Peng winked at Uncle Liang, glanced at his eldest brother again, turned around and followed Len Ning. After leaving the conference room and entering the corridor, Len Ning discovered that zombies had arrived. It is vast and huge in scale. His expression changed, and Len Ning hurriedly gave Zhang Peng a hand and led him to squat down to prevent him from being seen by the zombies. Boss, Zhang Peng looked nervous. Thank you Vava baby for the flowers. 3. Epsilon. The wood-type superpower who is reborn in the apocalypse. Author, Kiji Now. Chapter 161. It seems that the situation is worse than we expected. Len Ning looked solemn. Let's go to the second floor to see how Zhou Tao and Yuan Xing are doing, Len Ning continued. Okay, Zhang Peng said immediately. Then the two squatted and moved towards the stairs. After arriving at the stairs, he lowered his footsteps and walked towards the second floor. When he arrived on the second floor, Len Ning found that only Yuan Xing was guarding the stairs, and Zhou Tao was not there at all. What's going on? Len Ning frowned and asked in a deep voice. The zombies have arrived. Zhou Tao is outside observing the situation. Yuan Xing lowered his voice and explained. He originally wanted to stop Zhou Tao, but the guy didn't listen. He also said that he is the deputy captain and he cannot give orders to him or anything. He was afraid that he would attract zombies if he made any noise, so he just let him go. Len Ning's face darkened. You guys stay here and I'll go find him and come back, he said in a deep voice. This kid, please don't make things worse. Yeah, Yuan Xing and Zhang Peng nodded. He went downstairs, he should be on the first floor, Yuan Xing reminded. Len Ning frowned, took out Xiaoman and walked downstairs. I searched around the stairwell on the first floor, but didn't see Zhou Tao. Helpless, Len Ning had to go to the yard to find someone. Just a few steps away, I heard the sound of zombies pushing the iron door from the apartment door. He raised his head and looked ahead, only to see 7 or 8 zombies already throwing themselves on the iron gate. Behind them, there are still a large number of zombies squeezing forward. It is precisely because of the zombies squeezing behind that the pressure on the iron gate is increasing. Len Ning felt worried in his heart. According to the current situation, the iron door will probably be broken open soon. But she couldn't care about that now, she had to find Zhou Tao first. Suddenly, Len Ning heard a noise from behind. Looking back, it was Zhou Tao. Seeing Zhou Tao appear, Len Ning felt a little more at ease. He quickly turned back and took Zhou Tao up the stairs to the second floor. Where have you gone? Len Ning asked Zhou Tao angrily. Went to the garage. Their cars and oil drums were all placed in the garage. Those supplies were too important, and he was afraid that they would be destroyed by zombies. So I used my space jade to collect them all. When everyone heard about the garage, they immediately guessed what Zhou Tao was going to do. I'm afraid the gate won't last long, and zombies will break in soon. Cheer up, we can't let zombies get in, Len Ning said in a deep voice. Yeah, everyone nodded quickly. At this moment, the sound of the iron gate being breached came from the yard. Everyone's minds tightened and their faces became solemn. I'll ambush you on the first floor. Zheng Peng, you go up to the fourth floor. Zhou Tao and Yuan Xing keep an eye on this place. If you can't hold on, go up. Remember, the fourth floor is the bottom line, Len Ning said solemnly. Fortunately, there is only one walking staircase in the entire apartment, otherwise they would not have enough manpower. Yes. Len Ning looked at everyone and nodded, then took Xiaoman and walked downstairs. But before reaching the first floor, I saw 3 zombies coming up from the first floor. Len Ning's expression was stern. Xiaoman quickly took action and sent them back to the west. Then, Len Ning quickened his pace and continued downstairs. When he reached the first floor, Len Ning discovered that the courtyard was already filled with zombies. Not only that, more zombies continued to enter the yard from the iron gate. Len Ning's appearance was quickly noticed by the 2 zombies closest to her. Unfortunately, before they had time to get excited and roar, Xiaoman silently got rid of them.